NC. Subscribe on YouTube.
Hey everybody! Welcome to another episode of Trenny NC. I'm Trenny. This is C.
Hello.
We've got Micah with us today from Maker's Mark. Going to talk to us a little bit about, why don't you pull it out?
Oh, 46.
Oh,
Yeah.
the 46.
Oh, this is
Another icon.
This is the innovation from Maker's Mark. So for almost 60 years, they only produced one thing, that original delicious Maker's Mark, known for that really approachable, full vanilla, caramel, oaky notes. And then this one, Bill Samuels Sr. passed along to his son, Bill Samuels Jr. He continued to make his whiskey, and his dad said, "Don't screw up my whiskey." And so he continued to make it. The story goes, he had a dream that he passed away, and on the tombstone was the date he was born, the date he died, and then in brackets, "I didn't screw up my dad's whiskey." He's like, "That's my legacy, is I just didn't screw up my dad's whiskey?"
For some reason, that reminds me of like when you're a kid and you're holding the flashlight for your dad and you can't even do that, right? Like, this is a lot more responsibility, and we can't even get the flashlight.
You gotta
right.
keep Maker's Mark going.
Damn it.
So he said, "I don't want to bastardize
Gluggy, gluggy.
glug. I don't want to change what my dad did, but I want to make it my own." And so we went to independent stave companies who makes our barrels. They're about 15 minutes away from the distillery in Loretto, Kentucky for Maker's Mark. And we used the independent stave company to make the barrels. So we said, "Are you doing anything for innovations and changing things up?" And I said, "We're testing out finishings with wine. Why don't we take some of that science and that innovation and apply it to bourbon?" So we started taking different types of wood in different cooking methods
Wow.
to see what would happen on that finished product. So for makers, one of the things we want to do is we know that we don't want something bitter. We don't want that bite that traditional bourbons and American whiskeys have. So I actually brought some different wood to show that bottom, that white one, is American oak.
Here, I'll let you. You can.
So we have American oak, that's just raw. And typically you have to age it before they can turn into a stave. So they age it about 3 to 5 months. At Maker's Mark, we know that American oak has tannins. And so that tannins actually will cause some bitter notes. So we actually age it for about 12 months.
Okay.
And so that gives you that rawness. Then we trim this down and make it into a stave.
Yep.
We do a char level 3.
Okay.
Level
3,
1's the lowest, level
Yep.
4 is the highest, so we do level 3 so you get some smoothness, you get some crackling.
Sure.
And that interaction is what's allowing that whiskey to penetrate the wood and then go back in the barrel as it breathes. So we age our wood longer, so there's less bitter notes. So we've gone through that, and then for Maker's 46, hey, American oak, is that the only wood we can use? We char a level 3. Is there different ways? So we started experimenting. And Bill Samuels Jr. all of a sudden he's driving, pulls over the side of the road, he's thinking about it, he's like, "Hey, Miss Boswell, D, whatever sample D was, we've tried like 120, whatever D was, what's that?"
That's the one.
And, well, we're really good at making names at Maker's Mark. You can tell from our wood finishings. So we called it 46 because it was wood recipe 46.
Okay.
You say, "What is that?"
Yeah.
They would say it's French oak,
And it was sous vide style cooking method.
cooked to
Yeah.
wood recipe 46. We said, "For how long and what temperature?" They're like, "We're not going to tell you." We said, "Why?" "Because if you know that, you can get someone else to make it. So you have to come to us."
Yeah.
So we have a perfect agreement with the independent. So they're
Well,
using...
see, my dumbass always thought it was 46%. And then you
Right.
look at the label, you're like,
like,
"Oh,
it's
wait, it's
47%.
47. Then what the hell is this about?"
Yeah, so it's wood recipe 46. This
Okay.
uses French oak. So I love this one.
It says
Yeah.
Bill's recipe
This
right
is
on.
Bill Samuels Jr.'s
Yeah.
recipe. Now you get the American oak from the barrel, and we age it for additional 9 weeks with that French oak inside of it.
Cool.
Okay.
And so that's what's giving us this
And a specific stave? Do they put the full stave
full
in the...
piece. Yeah, so it's about 2 inches wide,
Okay.
and nice and thin, so you get a lot of surface area. And because it's submerged in the barrel with the liquid,
Okay.
it's interacting a lot.
So it's not like a cooperage has put one stave of French oak in the barrel.
Correct.
It's like actually in it.
Yeah, and we're not moving it to a barrel that's made out of it. No,
Yeah.
we're adding it into that barrel. So fully matured Maker's Mark, that 5 to 7 years, and now we add that in.
It's amazing what a difference that
Isn't it?
that
This one, to me, like
one
what
thing
I get,
has in it.
To me, it's more jammy. I don't know, I
Yeah,
don't know what that is, but
completely.
like,
It's just a little bit more, yeah, like orchard fruity and different
I've heard
kind of things like
dessert
strawberry-ish.
bourbon. Dessert
you know?
bourbon.
Very much.
On that
Okay,
nose.
I'm gonna
All
take
right,
a little
now
sip
let's
here.
taste. There you go. Cheers.
And 47%. Wow, that is really like just goes down easy.
but that's like, there's definitely that oak influence for sure on this one, like more so than the others that I've tasted.
Yeah,
so
you
far.
can taste the char a little bit more.
So because it's French oak, We know there's even higher tannins. You make a lot of good Bordeaux's and all those types of wines. So we actually age it for 24 months with the French oak before they process it and cook it to wood recipe 46.
Age it like without anything in it.
They'll season the wood.
Season the wood.
They'll
like
let that just... So
right.
this American oak for 12 months.
So let
the
it
French
kinda dry
oak,
out.
there's even higher tannins in it. So we do it for 24 months. Does it
That
coat
is
your mouth
really-
differently?
That is really nice.
All across your palate?
I mean, honestly, I'm just finding it highly drinkable right now.
And I know you're a Scotch guy, so you understand, like, this is out there where different companies are using different types of finishings for their different casks. And so when I was going through Scotch training, that's where I saw, like, the different types of influence of what oak does and where it sits on your palate.
Completely.
And that, for me,
Yeah.
I love this one. This one in a Manhattan, just
yeah,
beautiful.
nice.
You get that whiskey martini cocktail, that traditional one.
And Scotch, you're not allowed to throw the stave in the barrel, so it's kind of
So-
cool. This is actual
We're-
true innovation. In the
So we're
whiskey
really
world.
making bourbon, and then we're just finishing it using that French oak, and so we can
Yeah.
still call it that bourbon.
Cool.
And I like the look of it. It looks really cool.
And I mean, maybe it's just me because I don't have the other ones side by side, but it just looks so dark and rich.
There's a little bit more because you're actually getting all of that charring, all of that cooking from that additional stave.
Oh yeah, this is fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much for
sharing.
stopping
Yeah,
by,
appreciate
and we'll see you in another video in like 5 seconds.
I hope you enjoy the 46, one of my favorites.
Cheers.
But 2010 is when they released it, and you would only do it in the 3 coldest months because they didn't want that high interaction in the summer. And so they would do it like November, December, January, October, November, December. They would do it in the 3 coldest months.
Right. When they would distill it.
No, when they would extra age it with that French stave, because
okay.
they knew you're putting a thin slice, it's actually gobbling up a lot of flavor.
Yeah.
And so they would do it, and then
Tranny NC.